going back to with the Muse, you said that you got hooked up with Dan Quanstrom um, to start at Rhythm and Hughes. How was that start for you? I mean, with Clark Anderson, and you were with your future partner, Lauren Lanning, at Oddworld. So, kind of a segue from the Richard Edlund project into Oddworld, unless you don't want to talk about that.
No, yeah, I'm totally cool with that. The Oddworld Inhabitants thing was really a great opportunity. Lauren and I and Sherry and we had worked on Safari together
Yeah,
over at,
Safari.
and that was probably one of my favorite things that I worked on while I was there because I had a lot of creative license
Mm,
on a lot of parts of that film, the short film.
yeah,
Uh, for people that don't know, that it was actually a motion-based ride. It was for a Japanese amusement park, and um, it was really cool. It was really different. Um, but I was kind of the guy that had done, I would say, a majority of the visual development, certainly for Rhythm and Hues. But then there was also work that was being done at Universal in LA as well. The
yeah,
work was Mario Camberg, I believe,
yeah,
was the
yeah.
from Universal,
I see.
and so no, that was a fun thing, and that's when I started spending a lot more time working directly with Lauren,
Hmm.
uh, and he was always very complimentive of my work and my you know he liked my creativity. He liked my ideas. So that's kind of when our relationship started in terms of, and then obviously I admired him because he was really a super smart guy, and he was highly creative.
Yeah,
And that's where that thing started. But I think a good lesson that I learned at Rhythm Hughes is that I had to do a lot of different things. You would just jump subjects,
oh
and
yeah,
because yeah, and so it kind of opens you up to, first of all, not only did the project move fast, but you never knew what you were going to work on,
hmm,
and you had to solve problems quickly. And everything I did while I was there obviously wasn't a science fiction product like Safari. It would be a whole bunch of different things. Um, and that started making me actually, um, kind of open up my range, and it helped me improve my problem solving. Um, and I think then when Lauren started talking to me about, starting a video game company, and he said he wanted me to help do the visual development. Um, I was ready to take on something like that because I did feel comfortable with all of the training and the work and the kind of the breadth and diversity of things I had worked on.
yeah,
And I was like, wow, it was fun, and it's a bit scary when you jump out there, and it was really only the three of us when we started in this little tiny office, and we left the Los Angeles area and moved up to San Luis Obispo,
yeah.
and but it was fun because I was able to, um, I took Lauren's story and his ideas, um, and I had told him, I said, well, let me see what I can come up with in terms of visuals. But um, I think that was one of the few, if probably the only IP I actually worked on where we took some chances visually. Right? We I got more work approved than what wasn't approved.
Mm,
And most of the time, the stuff that was approved was stuff that I actually thought, well, I think that could work.
mm,
Um, so it was good chemistry. It was and it just fit the vibe, and it was a little bit weirder than a lot of stuff I worked on visually.
Yeah.
And it had to be a little bit more organic, and use a lot more natural elements for the different levels of the game. And I had a blast doing it. And that's actually when I started actually using the computer for my work. And I remember Lauren was kept pressing me on it, and I was always intimidated. And he taught me something I never forgot. He said, "Oh, you only need a few tools. You don't need to know the whole thing. Just use what you need." And it was like, how that makes sense, because normally when you think you need to be a programmer sometimes to use a computer. I mean, at least that's how I felt way back in the day, because I didn't grow up with computers. Obviously, I didn't touch a computer until I was in my 40s. Um, but that was cool, and I remember the very first painting I did, digital painting. Um, it was my very first one. It was of, I think it was of the Mudakin factory.
Oh yeah, I remember that. It was yeah, dark and muted.
Yeah, smoke and fire coming out of the stacks, and it was very mechanical looking, and I kind of wanted to feel alive a little bit, like a
Yeah.
big organism. Um, and I was like, wow, this is a lot of fun. Because I was doing mostly gouache and acrylic paintings, or pencil drawings. Um, and that was my very first piece that I did in the computer. And Lauren, he liked it. I didn't know if he would like it or not. And so it gave me confidence that, like, so I started mixing it up. I would still do, probably three-quarters of my work kind of, analog. But then as I tried to learn more and push things more, I added a little bit more and more Photoshop to my work, until, to this day, it's total flip now. I probably do 75% in the box and about 25% traditional.
Hmm.
Um, and certainly when I do things for myself, I always start 100% analog. But I find most of the time, just because I know I have to turn the work over
Yeah.
to someone, I just make sure it always has, the look that people are expecting. So I keep it pretty much 100% of my work actually professionally is digital. Only my personal works are kind of start out in a place where I just doodle around, try to come up with something, and then I'll get it into the computer, and then I'll
Yeah.
manipulate it from there. But yeah, no, that was a good experience, and it was a lot of fun doing that, and I did enjoy the freedom, and in retrospect, you think that you're going to have those opportunities come back again and again, but a lot of times they don't. Like I say, the level of freedom I had and the ability to do what I did on that, although I worked on a lot of cool things and have made an impact, I don't ever feel I had that level of trust and belief in me just being able to express myself, and someone had enough confidence in it to still say that there was value, even if they didn't agree with it 100%. They were, they still had enough belief in it